Om Shanti, everyone. Homeschool Yoga Mom here. Just have a short disclaimer for you before we get started in our yoga class. In all of our videos, we'll be practicing yoga asanas, meditation, and breath awareness techniques. All of these practices involve lengthening and strengthening the muscles, joints, the spine, the skeletal system, organs, glandular systems, the nervous system, everything. All parts of your body will be affected by your practice. So please remember that yoga and any physical exercise is an individual experience. During any part of the video that you participate in, please progress at your own pace, listen to and honor your own body. Rest when you need to rest, get water when you need to get water, and if necessary, please verify with any medical professional that you are able to participate in activities such as these before you get started. And just remember that by participating in the video, you assume your own risks, but please enjoy the class and enjoy the meditation. Om Shanti. Namaste.
We're going to come to a seated position on the mat. Sitting comfortably, whether that's legs crossed or legs one stacked on top of the other in a half lotus, or maybe the legs are extended. Ultimately, we're sitting comfortable, sitting tall, creating space for the breath. We'll start to settle into this posture, right? Making sure that the sits bones are sitting evenly on the mat. Our belly button is tucked in, and our heart is lifted. Taking a few moments to do a mental scan, starting from the bottom, working our way up to the top. Checking in with the body, noticing any parts of the body that might need our special attention during our practice. As we work our way up the body, we can stop and send a nourishing breath to those places of the body that might need that attention. And as we get up to the top, we can set our awareness on our breath. Starting to notice that wind sensation that comes in and out through the nose or the mouth as we breathe. And with our awareness on that wind sensation, we'll start to deepen the breath, drawing the breath down into the belly, allowing it to expand on all sides. And exhale, press all of the air out. Drawing the navel in, creating lots of space for the next inhale. Breathing in deeply. Exhale, pressing the breath out evenly. We'll take several breaths down into the belly. Breathing in and out, slowly and evenly, building our focus and our concentration for the rest of our practice. With every exhale, allowing the muscles to soften. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows. letting go of any tension that you may have brought with you to the mat. Taking about 8 or 10 more breaths here. And there's no rush. But after your 8 or 10 breaths, you just start to let go of the effort that we've placed on the breath and allow it to return back to a natural rhythm without any effort. As we feel ready to move, you can slowly, gently open the eyes if you like, but we're just going to start to move our legs so that we can sweep them around behind us and come to sitting on our knee. So while you're here, we start to warm up the body, moving gently. As we breathe in, we're going to reach the arms up overhead, keeping the belly button tucked in, the heart lifted, shoulders down. And breath out, arms come back down to the side. Breathing in again. Arms lift up, reaching up, maybe even looking up in between the palms. And breath out, arms down. Coordinating with the breath, moving at your own pace, breathing in, lifting the arms. Breathing out, arms rest down by the side. The more we progress with this, we can start to add a little bit of a back bend. So as we inhale and lift up, our palms can even touch, come together, make sure that the belly button is tucked in. And as we lift the heart, our back starts to arch back and the shoulders start to reach behind the hips. On the breath out, we'll come back to center, the arms come down. Good, breathing in again. Arms lift up, palms come together, heart lifts. Shoulders reach behind the hips, gentle back bend, and breath out, coming back to center, and the arms down. I'm working through a few more of these. Extending through the side body, warming up the side body. As we lean back and create that back bend, which should be from the middle back. We're starting to engage with the core a little bit. We'll take maybe 2 more breaths here. Now keeping that belly button tucked in as we arch back with this mini back bend. And breath in. Wonderful. Last one. Beautiful. All right, well, let's extend the hands in front of us. We'll come to an all fours position. Okay, so we want our knees under our hips, our wrists under our shoulders, or just slightly in front of. If your wrists tend to be tight or tense, you could roll the mat. Taking that short side of the mat, roll it backward a few times. create a little bit of a hump, and then the palms can rest right on it, the fingertips hang off of the mat. That just creates a little bit of an angle for your wrist, so that can always be an option for you anytime you're in table pose. We'll start to move with some cat-cows, moving through the spine. So we'll take a breath in at center. As we breathe out, we'll tuck the pelvis in, starting to arch the back, maybe even tucking the chin into the throat. As we're ready to inhale, we roll the tailbone away, pressing the belly down, heart forward, looking forward, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And breathing out, scoop the pelvis in, arch the back, tuck the chin. Moving with your own breath at your own pace. Tops of the feet can be flat on the mat, or you can tuck the toes under for a bonus stretch of the feet. It's up to you. Moving with control, feeling how each vertebrae moves like a string of pearls. With each breath in and each breath out. And just start each movement from the tailbone. These are great to do. You can do as many as you like. That feels good to you to keep the spine warmed up. And as you feel ready, we can press back into a child's pose. Pressing the hips back towards the feet. Wonderful. Keeping the belly button tucked in, trying to push the tailbone back just a little bit further. Feeling the fingertips reach towards the short side of the mat. We can start to walk our hands from side to side. Get a little bit extra of a lateral stretch from here. We just want to feel, pardon me, we want to feel our hips and our shoulders just pressing evenly down towards the mat. If we ever feel like our head is reaching too far or our forehead is reaching too far down in order to reach the mat, we can place a block under our forehead. That can always be an option. We're taking this lateral stretch in child's pose. We can stay on each side as long as we like. Just switching sides when we're ready. Using the breath to exhale to melt away any tension. Still focusing on the breath, keeping the belly button tucked in. A few deep breaths down into the belly here help to expand the muscles in the lower back, help to naturally reduce any tension that you might be feeling there. Also getting a little bit of stimulation in the organs with those deep breaths down into the belly. As we're closed in on the belly, you get that stimulation, a little bit of a massage almost. And back to center whenever you feel ready. And then whenever you feel ready to move into the next position, we'll just tuck our toes under and press our hips up for downward facing dog. There's no rush, just move at your own pace. Good, so extending and activating through the whole body now. We can pedal the feet, drop one heel and then the other, start to wake up the legs. You can sitting, they can fold it in, so let's extend through the back of the leg. You can keep moving or try to find some stillness as we're in downward facing dog. We just want to make sure that our kneecaps are in line with our ankles, so you can look at our knees and look and gauge that. We can bend the knees slightly, try to roll the tailbone up towards the ceiling a little bit more, press the heart towards the knees, and then press the heels back down. Wonderful. Let's take a breath and we'll extend forward. So we'll shift the weight forward, coming to a plank pose. We just want to space our hands and feet comfortably away from each other so that the wrists are under the shoulders still. Good. And pressing back, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Let's see if we can lift one leg, coming for a three-legged dog. So you're just going to squeeze on that glute, whichever leg you choose. Lifting the leg behind you. Wonderful. Just test that out and rest that leg down and press the other leg back. Squeeze that glute. Hang out there for a breath or two. Rest the leg back down when you're ready. Good. Then we're going to switch back and lift the other leg back up into downward facing dog. We're going to add a little bit more to this. What we want to do from here is shift forward into a lunge pose. So how we're going to do that is we're going to hug this knee into the chest, keep that belly and the rib connected as we start to shift the weight forward as if we're coming into plank and that foot rests down. Now if you look, you might notice that that front leg didn't make it all the way, and so that our knee is stacked on top of the ankle. We can come to rest down on the back knee, kind of use our hand to move our leg forward or just walk our toes forward. We just want our front leg to be in alignment so that the knee is on top of the ankle. Awesome. From here, let's check in more with the lower body. So our back knee is down. Can we press our hips? We want our hips to be in squared alignment with the short side of the mat. So let's maybe lift and just rest our hands on that front knee. And check in with our hips. Tuck the belly button in. Keep those front abdominals working for you. Good. So in our lunge pose, we want to strengthen our upper back. So we don't, sometimes when we come down for a runner's lunge, our shoulders are curled forward. We want to keep those shoulders and the upper back strong. So we're going to actually, from here, roll the shoulders back, feel the shoulder blades come together. Good. The fingertips are reaching down for the mat. We can stay here. Okay, or we can press our pinky fingers back behind us, maybe draw the arms, both arms back behind us. Squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit more. Keep the belly button tucked in. Lift the heart. Good. Perhaps this is our lunge pose. Okay, taking some breaths here down into the belly. If we wanted to add any more onto our lunge pose, we can tuck the back toes and lift that back leg. Beautiful. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe here in these lunge poses. Good. This can be our lunge pose. If we feel like we can take any more challenge here, we can start to move the arms up towards in front of us. And we can just stop and reach the fingertips forward, especially if you have high blood pressure. If this is comfortable, we can keep our shoulders down away from our ears. We can try to lift the fingertips so they reach up over the head. You're finding any variation of your lunge pose, starting from the low lunge, working up to this high lunge. Wonderful. Take some breaths here. Feel the strength of the legs, the length of the back leg, strength of the core, keeping us upright. Anytime you need to come down on that back knee, that's always an option. We're going to take 3 more breaths here, whichever lunge pose you choose. After your 3rd breath, we can let the hands come to rest on that front knee again. Drop down on the back knee if you haven't already. We can let the fingertips come to rest on the mat. And now we want to try to keep this connection with our rib and our thighs. We move back to downward facing dog. So with our hands down on the mat, we're going to tuck that back toe under again. See if we can lift that leg. See if in the front we can keep that connection of the belly and the thigh. We're going to slide that foot back, press back to downward facing dog, and then rest the foot down. Wonderful. So control. And we keep that belly and the rib connected to keep alignment. Keep everything in alignment, our leg and our hip. If we were to shift forward, a lot of times, sometimes our knee wants to come out to the side. That's going to throw our hip off, throw our back off. We want to maintain alignment for healthy structure of the body. Awesome. So let's switch sides. So let's lift up the other leg now, 3-legged dog. Squeezing on that glute as we lift. And as we feel ready to shift forward, we're going to hug that knee in. Start to shift the weight forward as if we're coming to plank, but we're going to rest that front leg down. Noticing maybe it doesn't come up all the way. We can wiggle the toes, come down on the back leg. Making sure that that front leg is in alignment. The knees stacked right over top of the ankle. And at first lifting, letting the hands come to rest on the knee. Checking in with the hips. Checking in with how secure our bottom half feels. Preparing for our lunge. Good. So we'll keep the belly button tucked in, the heart lifted. We're going to let the arms rest down to the side, roll the shoulders back, draw the shoulder blades together. Keep breathing. Again, with our shoulder blades activated, feeling them come together in the back. We wanted to add more to this lunge. We can tuck our back toe under, extend that back leg. Wonderful. Keep breathing. You're checking with your front leg. See if we can bend it a little bit more and draw the heel back. Yeah, keep it stacked. Awesome. And find your challenge here if it's comfortable. If this feels comfortable, we can reach the arms forward and up, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, keeping the fingertips reaching forward if you experience high blood pressure. We'll keep breathing. Awesome. Feel the strength of the front quad, the length of the back. Draw the inner thighs together. Beautiful. Take 3 more breaths wherever you are in this lunge. After your 3rd breath, we can start to come back down. So we can let the hands come to rest on that front knee, lower down the back knee if you haven't already. We're going to pull forward so that our hands, our palms come to rest on the mat. And once we have our hands secured on the ground, we can tuck that back toe under once more and keep that belly and thigh connection as we start to slide this foot back, pressing back to 3-legged dog, resting the foot down. Wonderful. I'm sorry, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Enjoy your downward dog. Maybe pedal the feet. If you feel like you need to take a child's pose here, feel free to rest and take child's pose. After the rest that you need, we'll come back to downward facing dog if you're not there already. No rush. We'll stay here just long enough to enjoy it for a breath or two, and then we'll walk our hands and feet together, coming to a forward fold. Beautiful. We're going to enjoy this forward fold for just a little while. So we can keep the knees soft. The feet are about hip width apart, so if you were to place a fist in between your big toes, it would be able to fit with maybe a little bit of space on each side. You can bend the knees. Make sure that the knees don't cave in towards each other. Keep them separated. Roll the thighs away from each other. Good. And then try to straighten the legs. Lengthening them as much as you can. Beautiful. Holding the elbows, maybe nodding your head yes, shaking your head no. Shifting the weight around on your feet, maybe shifting forward and back, noticing where the weight is. Seeing if you can distribute it evenly. Try not to sink back to the heels, but allow the weight to be evenly distributed across the feet. And while we're here, we might want to grab a block. A little closer. We're going to choose one leg, and we're going to bend that leg. We're going to keep the other one straight. So the leg that bends, we want to keep the knee in alignment with the ankle, so it's still not going to angle in towards the center or too far out to the side. We want it to stay right in alignment with that ankle. Good. So then in our extended leg, our straight leg, we feel a nice lengthening along the back, along the hamstrings, along the glutes, the outside of the hip. Wonderful. We can tuck the belly button in, try to sink the heart a little bit closer to the knees maybe. Finding the height of the block that works for you. There's 3 settings to the block. So the block could, either be there. Flat, this would be setting 1, 2, and 3. That'd be the highest setting. Good. Just finding what works for you, using the breath to melt away any tension in those spaces that feel tight. Switching sides when it feels right to you. So straightening the one that's bent, bending the one that's straight. This is a great release for tension. As humans, we collect a lot of tension in our hips and our shoulders. Those are the 2 places we collect the most tension. This is a great one to help alleviate some of that tension from the outside of the hip, from the low back. Hamstrings tend to be tight. Use the breath. You can switch back and forth from knee to knee, bending one and then the other, moving slowly but dynamically, or pick one, stay there for several breaths, switch to the other side, stay for several breaths. Kind of experimenting. Do what feels good to you and your body. We'll spend about 5 more breaths here, whichever way you decide to do it. There's no rush, but after your 5 breaths, we can bend the knees, let the belly rest right on the thighs. The ribs rest right on the thighs. We'll sweep our arms out to the side as we breathe in, reaching up. Wonderful. Maybe looking up in between the palms, maybe back bend, and then breathe out, arms come down to the side. Wonderful. We can take a couple of breaths here, eyes open or closed in mountain pose. You were face down, upside down for a little while, so if you need a couple of breaths, kind of bring yourself back to equilibrium. As you feel ready, we're going to work our way into tree pose for our balance day. So we can pick one leg that we want to balance, the other one's going to bend. So we can pick up the toes, spread them wide, rest them back down, and take this opportunity to come either off your mat or to a wall or using another prop if you know that you have a prop that you like to use. Okay. So we'll keep one leg straight. We're going to bend one knee. Just lift the heel off the ground. And we can start to let that foot slide up the leg, finding a place where it can go comfortably. We don't want to press on the knee. So as we open up our upper knee out to the side, we want to make sure that the knee of our standing leg is not being pressed on. We want to keep that knee right in alignment with the hip and the standing ankle. When we open up our upper knee, we don't want our hip to go with it. So check in with your hips, make sure that they're both square towards the short side of the mat. Keep the belly button tucked in, the heart lifted. Finding a focal point below your eye level, something to focus on so that you do not fall. Something that will not move. Continue to breathe. Send the breath down to the belly. The arms can move in any variation. Once you feel stable in the lower body, the arms can come to prayer position, or one arm out to the side, or both arms out to the side. You can reach both palms reaching overhead, and they're touching. You can kind of find an arm variation that works for you. Anywhere you send your arms is just going to add to the challenge of you balancing. A couple of more breaths here. Maybe lowering the arms, drawing them back into the body if they were extended. Drawing the knee back towards center, the one that opened up out to the side. Lift that knee up as high as it will go. Flex the foot and then gently press it down. Wonderful. Maybe rolling that standing ankle. Taking a couple of marching steps. Just whatever feels good to come out of this posture. Awesome. And then we'll work towards tree on the other side. So again, lifting the toes, spreading them wide, finding that stability in the feet. Lifting the opposite heel now. Letting that foot slide up the leg. Finding it to find a place to rest. Opening that knee out towards the side. Finding that focal point. Sending the breath down to the belly. Tucking the belly button in, keeping the heart lifted. And then finding that variation for your arms. The one that feels most comfortable to you. Maybe up to the side, maybe overhead. Just finding your challenge. And the last few breaths here. This balance. And as you feel ready, you can draw the arms in closer to the body if you haven't already. Draw the knee back forward, lifting that knee up as high as it will go. Flex the foot, gently press it down. Wonderful. Roll out that standing ankle. You know a minute could be so long. That's about a minute on each side of that tree. Wonderful. Let's start to work our way back down to the floor. So we'll come to the front of our mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Oh, don't move any props that you need to. Well, inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe even looking up in between the palms. Exhale, keep the belly button tucked in as we reach the heart forward. Keep a nice flat spine, long spine for as long as you can, and then folding over, coming to that forward fold. Keep the knees soft if you need to. Maybe bending one knee and then the other, doing something that feels good for a couple of breaths here. And then as you feel ready, we're going to walk our feet back, coming to downward dog. Wonderful. Yeah, maybe that means finding plank first. Find the spacing and then press back, downward facing dog. Again, maybe pedal the feet here, your downward facing dog. Maybe find one last challenge in this last downward dog. So maybe finding a three-legged dog one last time. Do what feels good here for just a few breaths. Still working our way back down to the floor. Wonderful. From downward facing dog, as you're ready, we'll come lower the knees down to a table pose. And from here, we're going to find puppy dog, which is kind of a cross between child's pose and downward facing dog. So we keep our hips stacked right over top of our knees, but we're going to start by lowering down to the elbows. And then we start to walk our hands forward or reach our hands forward like we do in child's pose and press our heart down towards the mat. And the chin can rest on the mat or the forehead can rest on the mat, finding which one feels good to you. And eyes open for the shoulders. Maybe the toes tuck under for a bonus stretch for the feet. Staying here for a few breaths, as long as it feels good. And come into a child's pose when you're ready to move on. Wonderful. All right, as you feel ready, we're actually going to flip over onto our back. Rest there. There's no rush. In fact, while you're in child's pose, if you'd like to walk the hands over to one side and get one last lateral stretch while you're there, that can be an option. Yes, as you're ready, and flip over onto our back. We'll keep our knees bent and our feet rested on the floor, on the mat. All right, so we're going to come to a twist. But what we want to do before the twist is actually, with our knees bent, we're going to pick up our hips and shift them over to one side. So she shifted over to her right side, so that means that her knees will drop down over to the left. We can try to keep the knees stacked. Good. And so we shift our hips so that we keep our spine in alignment. Otherwise, we kind of be lopsided like this. Okay, do you need support while you're in the twist? Maybe under your legs or I can press down. Okay, so our arms, they can reach out like the letter T or cactus arms or football goal shape arms. Depends on what kind of heart opening that you like. To bring this twist all the way up into the cervical spine, we can turn and look away from our knees. Beautiful. And we're just enjoying the twist here. Continuing to breathe in a natural rhythm. Staying several breaths in this twist. Coming back to center when we're ready to switch sides. As we're ready to come back to center, we just lift the knees up, shift the hips back over to center, and then through it to shift them over to the other side. So this time we'll go over to the left. We'll drop our knees down to the right. Wonderful. Having any kind of support. So there could be a block under the knees or in between them. Arms can reach out like the letter T again, or the cactus shape. And again, bringing this twist up into the cervical spine by looking away from the knees. Staying for several breaths here on this side of the twist. And back to center when you're ready. There's no rush. As you come back to center, drawing the knees back to center, shifting the hips back to center. We'll go ahead and just hug the knees in towards the chest. And we can take our arms and wrap them around. Maybe even lift our chin or our forehead up towards the knees. Just give ourselves a really big hug. Squeeze the breath out. As we're ready to breathe in, on the next inhale, we'll reach the arms up over our heads. Extend the legs. Reaching fingers and toes away from each other as much as they can. Great big breath in. As you're ready to breathe out, we'll hug everything in again. Wonderful. Moving with your own breath, pressing all the breath out on that exhale, creating lots of space for the next inhale, the next extension. Taking several of these to prepare for our Savasana and deep relaxation. This just kind of helps to bring everything back to center, brings the spine back to center. One last release of the lower back. One last big extension. From an Asher. Yeah. And there's no rush. But just as you're ready to prepare for your deep relaxation on the last extension, you can just allow the arms to rest down towards the side, laying comfortably, finding stillness on the mat. Starting to tune into the breath again and entering into deep relaxation.
And now we've reached the end of our practice, where we can start to settle in for deep relaxation. Extending the body out on your mat, allowing the feet to reach out towards the corners, and the arms can rest down by the side, lifting the palms up, allowing the body to settle into the mat, feeling the shoulder blades press gently, the hips settle, Starting to take a mental walk through the body, starting from the bottom, working your way up to the top. Stopping to send your breath to any places in the body that need your special attention. Using the exhale to melt away and soften any tension that might still be lingering in the body. Starting to slow down enough to pay attention to the breath. Noticing where the breath is in the body. Maybe the belly expands or the heart lifts. Just noticing it first. Drawing your awareness closer to that wind sensation that you notice and feel as the breath falls in and out of the nose or the mouth, depending on how you're breathing today. With every inhale and exhale, drawing your awareness closer to that sensation. Efforting towards drawing the breath in deeper, exhaling longer. As you inhale, allowing the belly to expand on all sides. Exhale, pressing all of the air out, creating lots of space for the next inhale. Inhaling fully again. Exhaling evenly, or pressing that exhale a little bit longer than the inhale, encouraging the relaxation response in the body. Continuing with this effort of the belly breath and the awareness of the sensation of the wind of breath coming in and out. You can stay in this deep relaxation for as long as it feels comfortable to you. Remembering that when you arise from your meditation and your deep relaxation, to move gently, arise slowly. And enjoy the sense of peace that you can take with you off of the mat and into your daily life. Om Shanti.